So we decided to take an island tour off Bali to Nusa Penida, and popular tourist destination, but it was trouble in Bali for me today when I lost my fucking wallet. I left it in my pocket when I went to jump into the water to go snorkeling, lost everything. But despite that, I'll give you an update later, but this is how the day went. So this tour cost us 800,000 rupiah per person. And this included pick up and drop off to the actual hotel where we were staying. It also included the boat transport to and from the actual island. And yes, hold on to those boat tickets because it's your only way back. And it also included snorkeling equipment, insurance, and and lunch provided as well. So that gives you an idea of the initial cost of this tour. Now I'm going to go through and show you some of the highlights of this tour and give you my blunt, honest opinion of this island. Now the boat here was okay, but not much legroom if you're a tall person. They did have an upstairs and downstairs section of the actual boat. And the upstairs section, basically, they said, is for people that are drinking alcohol only. And then downstairs is for the rest of the people. But there's no toilets on the boat that I could see. So, yeah, go to the toilet before you get on the boat or after you get off the boat. And as you can see, we got on the island here. And this is the port area. And fuck, it was filthy. I'm just going to be honest. There was rubbish everywhere. They really don't look after the port area of this island. And after we got our snorkeling equipment ready, we got changed into our swimmers. We got on the boats. And so we're just waiting here on the boat for them to take off. And you can see over there the sort of size of the boats that were actually in here. And the water going out to the actual snorkeling, there was 3 dive sites. And the water was extremely rough going out to these dive sites, I'm just going to say. And ended up with seasickness being out in the water after the first dive because it was so rough out there. And the currents are quite strong. So my warning to those that are looking at going on a snorkeling tour, if you're not a strong swimmer, don't go on these snorkeling tours on Nusa Penida because the places they take you, work health and safety, throw it out the window a little bit. The currents are just really strong in some of these areas, so you've got to constantly be moving around to keep in check so you don't get either thrown into a bloody the side of the rocks or taken away. So yeah, I found the currents a bit strong, but I was able to swim in them. It was no problem for me, but it would have been problems for those that can't really swim. Though they do provide you life jackets, which is good for those that are not strong swimmers when you go snorkeling. And I know Nice and Anne wore life jackets when they jumped in the water, but I was fine. I was okay going up and down. And I did do some filming with my GoPro, which I'll show you shortly, and I'll show you the quality of the dives as such. See that small boat in the distance? That's the same sort of boat we're in. And the boats were getting knocked around big time in these waves. I did see other boats going with people with full scuba gear, so there must have been some scuba diving going on in the area as well. But the oceans around this particular island, especially around these rocks areas, are quite rough. And the boat's just like bouncing up and down. And you may not see it in the way this has been filmed, but God, we'll get knocked around a bit and water was splashing into the boat and you're getting wet as you're going along on this particular boat tour here. And so the 3 dives, I'll show you a little bit about them. But to be honest, I don't know. You judge the quality, but I think I've been on much better snorkeling tours. Now, a little bit about the island. Nusa Penida is an island located near the southeastern Indonesian island of Bali, which forms the district of the same name in Kelangkang Regency. The Badang Strait separates the island and Bali. The interior of Nusa Penida is hilly with a maximum altitude of 524 metres, and the climate is drier than Bali. It was also bloody hot on this island, to be honest. So yeah, this particular dive, it had some nice sort of coral on the bottom there, but not much overall, as you can see. And there was not much fish life in this particular water here. It seemed pretty empty overall when we were diving. And who knows, maybe it was because of the amount of dive boats, like snorkeling boats, coming and going from this area. And there was a lot of tourist boats constantly coming and going. So I guess when you're looking at the amount of people swimming there and the boats coming and going, it's probably a reason why there's not much sea life in the actual water here. But still, I must admit, I did enjoy the swimming. It was just that if you're after a beautiful snorkeling tour where you're seeing great coral reefs and lots of sea life and everything like that, then you're not necessarily going to get it on this particular dive. And as you can see around us, it was surrounded by rock areas. Now, the boat was quite near to the rocks there, and people keep getting pushed gradually over towards those rocks. I was trying to stay away from them, and there was one stupid idiot that swam all the way into the beach, and they had to wait for him because of the way the currents were. It was very hard for him to swim back to the boat. And so they encourage you to stay near the boats when we're going for the dives. And there is a ladder on the other side of the boat that you can climb into. And though a little bit difficult, it's still okay to get in and out of the boat. I didn't complain too much. But I did enjoy just filming with the GoPro because I just wanted to see what I could capture. Yeah, you've got little bits of sea life like this swimming around. But yeah, overall, I'm not impressed, to be honest. If I was after a snorkeling tour and I was paying for one, I'm going to say that this one was pretty much a waste of money. In a lot of regards, I could have just dived anywhere into the water and had a better experience for free than actually paying for this particular one that we went on. So they don't exactly pick good locations to go swimming. And maybe at one stage this place did have a lot of sea life, but whatever it is about over-tourism, I guess, has probably reduced its quality of sea life in the area. But yeah, I did like some of the little corals here, and I was trying to get up close to them to see them. But I was having fun just filming with the GoPro because I hadn't really tested it out fully underwater. I had tried once before to do a little bit of filming underwater, but this was my first real attempt of filming underwater with the GoPro in an ocean setting. And with any particular success, because last time I was filming, I was doing some swimming near a beach, but I didn't really get much on the camera. But yeah, I guess this is the second dive though, and this particular one you're supposed to see manta rays, but we didn't see any in here, but they call it Manta Ray Bay or something, and so you're supposed to see those sort of manta rays swimming over you. But there was no real sea life here, and the water was pretty murky, to be honest, and you couldn't really see much. Like, look at this underwater. That's your visual when you're going underwater there. So you're not seeing much at all in these waters. But, I don't know, it was sort of beautiful in the area to some extent, so I can't complain there. But be a strong swimmer. That's what I'm just going to say. Don't take your kids on these tours, these snorkeling tours, because they're definitely not for kids. And if you're a really bad swimmer, don't come on these tours either. And there's probably better ones with smoother currents that you can go swimming in. Now, one of the bad luck I had on one of these dives, that Manta Ray Bay one, I had accidentally left my wallet in my pocket, and I dived into the water and completely lost my wallet. And I guess I sort of went, you know what, fuck it, I've lost everything. I had a couple of reserved cards in Anne's bag that I could have used as last resort, as long as I got access to an ATM and I could do some moving around with my phone of money. But yeah, I just enjoyed the other two the dives, and I just said, nah, I'm going for a swim. I'll deal with the wallet later. But that was a lesson learnt. I should have kept my wallet in the actual bag. And things are going to get wet in the boat. So if you do have plastic bags or you do have a bag that's waterproof, then put everything inside that. Because with the water splashing in, people getting in and out of the snorkeling, stuff's going to get wet in the boat. So make sure whatever you're carrying, you don't care whether it gets wet, or you've got some waterproofing stuff to keep your phones and other electronics dry if you're carrying any of that stuff. Me, I was carrying a GoPro, so it already had a waterproofing container around it, so there was no possible chance of it actually getting dirty or getting wet or anything like that, because it was fully protected. But you can see here, the visual, you can't see anything underwater. It's completely murky. And maybe the only fun I was having was trying to film myself here with the GoPro just to test what I was actually doing. But I don't know, you just couldn't see anything in this water. It was more about just splashing in the water and just cooling down from the heat than actually seeing anything of any substance really underwater. And see, there's the bottom. Nothing. Complete just sand and rock. There's no real things to see in this particular area at all, I'm just going to say. And but occasionally I went up here just to film around us to show you the boat that we're actually swimming in, and also all the people swimming and the islands around us within this particular tour. And as you can see, we're in the middle of this area here of open water with the cliffs surrounding us. Now, you've got to be really careful near those cliffs. I think in this particular one, they did keep us away from them. But as you saw earlier, one of the other dives, yeah, it was too close to the rocks. This one here, yeah, again, you're seeing some coral reefs as such. You're seeing some minor sea life, but nothing really much on this dive again. It was pretty much a dead dive in regards to what you were seeing, apart from a few colourful rocks, some coral. Yeah, nothing really. And so you go, is it worthwhile paying 800,000 Indonesian for this tour? For snorkeling, I'm just going to adding snorkeling to the tour. There you go, there's your fish. And not much at all. And I know I don't like to be negative about things, but I just thought it was a crap snorkeling tour, to be honest. It was quite rushed in some regards, but really rough out in the open waters. And the places they took you to were not spectacular at all. It's like they picked 3 random locations and just threw you in the water and hoping that you might be happy with what you actually saw. But if you're going to go on a snorkeling tour, you really want to see something, I guess. You really want to pick an area where you've got some good sea life, or you've got some beautiful coral or something. But whether this is over-tourism that's killed the local coral, or whether it's poor local management of the sea life, of the coral reefs, who knows? But from what I saw on this island, they weren't really looking after much. It was all about the quick cash grab for the tourism on this particular island. But yeah, I suppose you got some fish life here. So we did see some fish eventually swimming around us under the boat. Maybe they thought they were going to throw some food in or something like that to feed them. Maybe that would have actually got the fish going a bit more crazy if I had some fish food to feed the things. But I don't know, I just thought I have to film this underwater, because if you're going to book these snorkeling tours, watch as much YouTube as possible of those particular areas so that you can make an executive decision on whether you're going to go on these tours or not. And Anne didn't want to come here for the snorkeling. She was mainly coming here for a few photo opportunities, which she liked, and I'll show you those locations later. And our driver also said to us, he goes, the main reason people come to this island is because it was made famous through Instagram and TikTok and social media, through a couple of sites which are really good photo opportunities. Outside of that, even our driver said it's dirty. It's a dirty island and not well maintained overall. And yeah, he said he's not overly impressed with it himself, and he was a local in regards to the maintenance. And even our driver on this island basically said, yeah, the local government doesn't put much money into looking after the island. And you'll see later why, and the state of the island as we drive around it. But yeah, outside of that, that's a little bit on the snorkeling tour. And yeah, I would not do it again. I definitely would not recommend this snorkeling tour on Nusa Penida. It's just not good. It's the quality's poor. I'm sorry. I don't know about the scuba diving, and if you people have experiences on the scuba diving on Nusa Penida and you had some great experiences, please share them, because maybe there is some good snorkeling areas and good scuba diving areas on this island. But the places they took us on this tour were absolutely crap. They really were. But the water was beautiful to swim in. Really nice. And here we go. We're actually on the open road now. So after we went back, we had a quick shower, got changed into some different clothes, and the showering area, yeah, I got no words. If you go on this tour, you'll see how bad it is, where you can have a quick shower and get changed. But these roads were as narrow as hell. They were poorly maintained. They were full of potholes everywhere. And every time the cars went by, you had to slow down. It was like they had a one-lane road for two cars. And there was massive amounts of these tourist buses all over the island. They were super crowded. And, just full of tourists everywhere. And when you get to some of the photo shoot opportunities, that's when it gets really crowded. With people, with cars, and just tourists in general. And this is really, I don't know. It's a really overrated island. But I noticed this island's extremely dry, though. Like when I looked at the sort of plant life, the farming areas, everything like that, it just looks so dry compared to Bali. Like Bali's so lush and green, where this island was really dry and desolate looking in some regards. But I did like these little villages. These little villages were kind of nice, just seeing the way they were designed, the temples, the various structures. There were some nice little quaint, cute villages, which I did like. And if you had a motorbike, you rented a motorbike on this island, it'd probably be fun to get around and explore on a motorbike. Private tours, private drivers, yeah, great. Our driver was going extremely fast, though, on this tour when he was driving through the side streets. Now, this is the place we stopped for lunch. Now, they did include lunch in it, so basically it was lunch and a drink. So I'm going to show you the quality of the food now, which we actually got. You could order other things off the menu, but this was the basics, which you got. So all the tours were generally brought here. The staff here were extremely friendly and polite. I found the customer service here really good. They did try to look after you. And it was a nicely set out little restaurant. It looked like it was reasonably new because it set out the front, grand opening. And everyone was smiley. I don't know, all the customer service staff was smiley. There's our driver there in the background. Nice as sitting there. They did have other drink options, ice cream options. And I did get myself a beer as well, even though it came with iced tea. The drink there. And the drivers, they went out the back. I think they fed them. But this was me, chicken schnitzel and chips. Yeah, nice, simple. There's the spaghetti that Nice got as his meal. And got myself a patang. And ended up with some satay. Now, once we're back out in the road, you can see here, see how sort of dry and desolate this place is. And either it's been just so badly cleared, the land, that there's no forestry as such, or it's just generally dry like this. Now, if you are renting a motorbike on the island, just be careful because the roads are dangerous. I'm gonna be honest, the roads are dangerous. You've got a lot of potholes on the roads, sections that are tarred, and then you're coming to a lot of these dirt road areas, which are quite rough and bumpy as you're going up and down them. And our driver, he was zooming in and out of these roads in different sections, going quite fast. And here's the first tourist location. And there was an issue there with the locals blocking off the car park unless you paid extra money. And so the tour guides all started shoving their cars in here. And this road was so bad, it was dangerous. It's kind of like coming in. If you tried to get in and out, your car could potentially fall down the side of the hill. But this is us trying to walk through the cars to get to the first tourist location. Now, this first location has also been made famous through Instagram, and it's called Broken Beach So there was a lot of tourists walking around here taking photos in different locations. And your drivers, if you've got a private driver, they'll help you take some nice photos here as well. But people come here mainly just for the view. And I did see some people jet skiing down the bottom here, coming in and out of the beach area. But this is Broken Beach. And I don't know, it's really beautiful. I'm just going to say the location here. So I can't complain. The view is amazing. But if you're walking along here with kids, be extremely careful. There is no fencing here. And it could be so easy to slip off here. And our driver did tell us one example where someone did fall and die from the edge of this particular cliff. So just be really careful around the edges of this thing. So I saw some of the people there trying to get those Instagram photos standing right at the edge. One wrong step and they would have fallen. And when I take another photo angle here, you'll actually see how deep this place is. But yeah, you fall from this place, you're not coming back. It's extremely dangerous. And see all these people here climbing, getting photos on the edge. Yeah, it's not safe. There's a few places there where you can buy some drinks if you need to. And if you continue to walk around this path, there's a village on the hill, which apparently our driver said we didn't have time to explore. But here's our driver sort of taking us to some quick photo opportunities. And so we were a little bit rushed, just going, here, come here, take photos, come here, take photos. And see, there's the village up on the hill there where all the tourists are walking towards. And I don't know what's up there because we didn't get a chance to walk there. But here's the general view as well from this hill. Really beautiful views, I'm going to just say. Spectacular, quite cliff areas. That's Dinosaur Island, which is apparently quite famous on Instagram and other places because it looks like a dinosaur as such. And but I don't know whether they just made it up, that name. But see here, the inner side of it, you can see how steep that cliff is. So, and people are standing right near the edge of those cliffs taking photos. And so we were just being a little bit careful where we stood when we took these photos on the edges. But you can get beautiful photos. Is it worth coming to the island just for these photos? Probably not. And that's why I'd booked other things like a snorkeling tour and that to make it worthwhile. And I thought, being a major tourist destination, that the island was going to be a lot more beautiful than it actually was. And apart from a few little photo opportunities, and that was about the island. So if you're looking at Broken Beach and King Beach, then yeah, it seems to be the island pretty much. From what I could tell, there's not really much else to the island. And but again, we were back on the dirt road, and our driver, yeah, he was just zooming up and down these roads, so he obviously knows them really well. And he was a local from the island. And yeah, his English was okay. And the way he spoke to us and explained things wasn't perfect, but he got us around. Someone's motorbike broke down here. We saw them walking somewhere up the hill. And I think he was walking back to his group that he was with. But yeah, this is when the guys started really zooming around this road. I would say it was like an adventure tour, let's just say, in the speed he was driving around these corners. And so hold on to your seats, guys, and hold on to the edge of the car as you come around these corners at fast paces. But I wanted to show a little bit of the island, and that's why I took some various videos of the island. So here we're hitting King Beach. And as you're walking in the King Beach, there was a shop at the top, which you had drinks, ice cream, things like that. As you're walking down towards the viewpoint, you got people selling some hats and other sorts of various touristy things. But yeah, it was boiling hot here. It was burning. I did get sunburned on this island, and because of the heat, it was just really bad heat here. Little mini mark there if you needed it to buy any particular things. And the walk was not too bad down to the viewpoint. Yeah, it was okay. Nothing too strenuous by any means. The car park was packed though. The amount of tourist buses on this car park was huge. And I didn't show the car park, but it was just super full of tourist buses. So this is Kellan King Beach, the viewpoints that we got there. There is a little temple there. It was closed off to the public. This is the walking area that you go down to get the photo shops. And this is what people come for, to get that one Instagram shot. And you have to ask people to move because people are lining up just trying to get this one photo. Some people do walk down to the beach area, but we didn't. We just came to the top, took some photos and walked back because it was so bloody hot. And finally we got back to the main beach area. And this is where I give a quick summary of the tour overall. And yeah, this beach, I don't know, it was just filthy, to be honest. So the day ended quite good. We did go on our tours. We did get a lunch included. The driver took us on a crazy ride around the island. The roads are shit. And but outside of that, we did see some beautiful scenery here on this island. Would I come back again? Probably not. But outside of that, I would say stay here a night or two if you really wanted to explore the area, because there is a lot to see. But for a day trip here, I don't think I really relaxed too much. It was just go, go, go. On the run, trying to see one photo shop opportunity to another. But outside of that, I did sort of relax as well and enjoy it. But one thing you're going to find here is finding a decent toilet. Bring your own toilet paper again, like I always say. And as the day comes to a close, remember to put your wallet and everything into your actual bag before you go snorkeling, rather than jumping in the water. The only reason at the end of the day I ended up with my wallet, which I freaked out about because I thought I lost all my credit cards and everything, was one of the other snorkelers saw my wallet floating in the water and he picked it up and managed to give it to me. When he heard me complaining about losing my wallet, gave it to me with all the money and that. So there is some good people out there at the end of the day. And so I want to thank that person that was kind enough to bring my wallet back to me with everything in it and actually find it floating in the water whilst we're actually snorkeling. And so we're ending our day here, back at where we started, where we got all our snorkeling gear, where we got our fins for the day. And yes, we're going to be catching the ferry back soon. But anyway, if you like these sort of videos, hit like and please subscribe. And if you've got any questions about this place, feel free to ask and I'll tell you my honest opinion about my experiences here. But off we go. Enjoy the sunset as it starts to go down. And enjoy the lovely rubbish that's all over the beach. Have a beautiful day, everyone.